Every park has a story, and every story has a legacy. Welcome to Legacy Parks on the Daily Parks and Rec Show. This is our host, Richard Bienvenu, and we're live every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Together, we'll explore the history, impact, and lasting legacy of the parks that have shaped our communities for generations. We'll uncover the stories, people, and moments that make this park truly unforgettable. Legacy Parks, where every park tells a story. In this episode, we explore 7 incredible urban parks and the inspiring stories of how they transform cities, strengthen communities, and redefine public spaces across America.
Well, hello, y'all. This is Richard Bienvenu from the Deep South, New Orleans. And today is another episode of our new show, the Daily Parks and Recs Legacy Park Show. And we usually have Craig LeBlanc here with us, and he could not make it today. So it's just going to be me. And we have 7 parks that we're going to talk about, 7 urban parks that we're going to talk about today. And and just to let you all know that I pre-recorded the narration for those parks. And the reason is that the last few shows that we did, I was doing the narration for 35, 40 minutes, and I got tongue-tied, and I thought, you know what, we got to do this better. So I decided that I could re-record or pre-record the narration, and also, when I made a mistake, I could go back and I could edit it and make it sound really good. So that is what we're going to do, and that is what's going to happen. And we have our wonderful person, Jovi, who is our producer here, who is going to be managing it and making it all look good and look great. And so I think it's going to be I know it's going to be a good show for y'all. So, when most people think about great parks, they picture places like Yellowstone or Yosemite, and they think about mountains and forests and wide open spaces. But today we're going to visit 7 parks that are every bit as remarkable, and they're all right in the middle of some of America's biggest cities. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about a city park? Well, as we're about to discover, these aren't just patches of grass with a few trees. Every one of these parks has an incredible story behind it. Some were built on railroad yards. One was built over a busy freeway, which I find amazing. They came up with a concept to do that. Another replaced an entire highway. So they removed a whole highway to put up this park. And one transformed nothing more than a huge collection of downtown parking lots into one of the liveliest places in the city. And what really fascinated me while researching these parks is that they all have something in common. They prove that when a city invests in public spaces, it's investing in its people. And these parks have brought neighborhoods back to life and attracted new businesses, created gathering places for families, and given residents a reason to fall in love with their downtowns all over again. And I just want to mention that one of the parks we're going to talk about is Portland Park. And they completely removed a highway that was in downtown. It was right by the river, and it was blocking the view of the river and making a beautiful area to have a park. And in New Orleans, years and years ago, when they were putting in a 610, what is it called? 610 corridor that would come into the city and you get back on I-10. Their proposal was to actually put this thing in front of the French Quarter right by the river. And this is the thing that they actually did in Portland, Oregon, that they removed. And there was such an upcry. I mean, it was already approved and money was already there. There was such an upcry. It would have ruined downtown New Orleans. It would have ruined Jackson Square and the French Quarter. So thank God that there was enough outcry that stopped that. So that's, when you would come to Portland, Oregon, you'll see that's one of the things that they did. They actually removed an entire highway that was over the Willamette River right there by downtown, and they created this beautiful park. So today we're going to take a little road trip across America, and I think you're going to be surprised by what you find. Here's a little collage that we made here. And so these are not in alphabetical order, but that's okay. We're going to the actual narration is going to be in alphabetical order. And we're going to talk about the first stop is going to be the Campus Martius Park. It's in downtown Detroit. And if you haven't been there, you're in for a surprise. Today it's filled with restaurants, concerts, fountains, and even a sandy beach during the summer. But not all that long ago, downtown Detroit was struggling. And we'll talk about how one beautiful little park helped become the symbol of the city's remarkable comeback. And then we'll head over to Houston and visit Discovery Green. Now, here's a fun question. What do you do with a bunch of downtown parking lots? And most people would probably say, well, you build another office building, right? Well, Houston decided to build a park instead. And thank God that they did this because it made it such a huge difference. And today it's one of the city's busiest gathering places. It's filled with paddle boats and gardens, concerts, and families enjoying the outdoors. Also, after that, we'll travel to Dallas to visit the Clyde Warren Park. And this one may be the most amazing engineering project of them all. Imagine relaxing on a beautiful lawn while thousands of cars are speeding directly beneath your feet. That's exactly what's happening every day because this entire park, I can't imagine how they did this, how they engineered this, but it sits on top of a major freeway. It's one of those places that makes you stop and say, now, why didn't somebody think of that years ago? And from there, we'll make our way to Chicago and one of America's most famous parks, that's Millennium Park. So everybody knows, maybe not everybody, but most people have seen pictures of the Bean. And if you don't know what that is, well, just stick around. You'll find out. Most people have no idea it was there before. Believe it or not, it used to be railroad tracks and parking lots. And today it's one of the most photographed places in the country, and we'll look at how Chicago turned an eyesore into an international destination. And next we'll head over to Spokane, Washington. I know it's spelled Spokane, but we pronounce it Spokane, and visit a Riverfront Park. This one is a little different because the star attraction wasn't built by people at all. It's the Spokane Falls, one of the largest urban waterfalls in the United States. And for years, the city practically hid it behind railroads and warehouses. And until Expo 74, it gave Spokane the opportunity to completely rethink its riverfront, and the results are spectacular. Then we go off to Portland that we just talked about, Tom McCall Waterfront Park, where leaders made a decision that was considered almost crazy at the time. They tore out a busy highway and replaced it with a park. Today, it's hard to imagine that Portland without this beautiful waterfront, and cities around the world have studied it as an example of what can happen when you put people before traffic. And then we'll wrap up in Louisville, Kentucky at Waterfront Park. Like so many river cities, Louisville had turned its back on Ohio River for years. Now it is pronounced Louisville, not Louisville. And I know that because I know people from Louisville, even though it looks like it's spelled Louisville. So industry had taken over the shoreline, but today, thanks to an ambitious redevelopment project, is one of the city's greatest treasures, complete with beautiful walking paths, wide green lawns, and the iconic Big Four Bridge. So I hope you stick around because today it's just about 7 beautiful parks. It's not just about the 7 beautiful parks. It's really about the 7 stories of vision, creativity, and second chances. And these parks remind us that sometimes the very best thing a city can do isn't build something bigger. It's create a place where people simply want to spend time together. And I think you'll find every one of these stories both inspiring and a lot of fun. Take it away, Jovi. What does it take to bring a struggling downtown back to life? Well, in Detroit, many people believe the answer began with a beautiful 2.5-acre park called Campus Martius. Today, this lively green space is filled with concerts, restaurants, public art, and year-round activities. But just a few decades ago, the heart of downtown Detroit looked very different. So the original Campus Martius was established in 1805 after a devastating fire destroyed much of Detroit. So Judge Augustus Woodward designed a new street plan with Campus Martius at its center, making it the city's point of origin. Over the years, changing traffic patterns and urban development erased much of the original public square, leaving downtown dominated by busy streets and office buildings. In the late 1990s, civic leaders launched an ambitious effort to restore a central gathering place for Detroit. Through a partnership involving businesses, philanthropists, and local governments, construction began on a new Campus Martius Park. When it originally opened in 2004, it quickly became the centerpiece of Detroit's downtown revitalization and a symbol of renewed optimism. The heart of the park is its beautiful central fountain, surrounded by welcoming plazas, colorful landscaping, and comfortable seating areas. Office workers enjoy lunch outdoors, families gather for community events, and visitors relax while taking in views of Detroit's impressive skyline. The design encourages people to stop, linger, and enjoy the city instead of simply passing through it. One of Campus Martius Park's most unique features is how dramatically it changes with the seasons. During the summer, a sandy urban beach complete with lounge chairs creates a vacation atmosphere in the middle of downtown. In winter, that same space becomes one of Michigan's most popular outdoor ice skating rinks, attracting thousands of skaters beneath sparkling lights. Throughout the year, the park hosts concerts, holiday celebrations, food festivals, fitness classes, and community events. And from lunchtime performances to Christmas tree lighting ceremonies, Campus Martius has become Detroit's outdoor living room. The steady calendar of activities ensures there's almost always something happening, helping create a welcoming atmosphere for residents and visitors alike. The success of Campus Martius extends far beyond its borders. Restaurants, apartments, offices, and new businesses have flourished around the park as downtown Detroit has experienced renewed investment. The park has encouraged people to return to the city center, proving that thoughtfully designed public spaces can become powerful economic engines as well as places for recreation. Visitors can also discover reminders of Detroit's rich history, including monuments marking the city's point of origin. These landmarks connect today's bustling park with Detroit's earliest years, reminding visitors that this location has served as the city's symbolic center for more than 2 centuries. The greatest challenge was convincing people that downtown Detroit could once again become a destination. Years of economic decline had left many doubtful that a central public park could make a meaningful difference. Yet through careful management, private support, and year-round programming, Campus Martius has helped change perceptions while requiring ongoing maintenance and investment to keep it vibrant and welcoming. Today, Campus Martius Park stands as one of America's great examples of urban renewal. More than just a beautiful public space, it represents Detroit's resilience and determination to reinvent itself. It reminds us that when people invest in parks, they are also investing in their communities, creating places where neighbors gather, visitors feel welcome, and cities discover new life. Can a collection of downtown parking lots become the heart of a major American city? Well, welcome to Discovery Green, a modern urban park that has helped redefine downtown Houston. Covering nearly 12 acres beside the George R. Brown Convention Center, this lively green space welcomes millions of visitors every year. Today, it's filled with gardens, public art, concerts, and family activities. But not long ago, this prime location was nothing more than a sea of asphalt parking lots. For decades, this land served convention visitors with little more than parking spaces. While functional, it contributed little to downtown life after business hours. City leaders realized that if Houston wanted a vibrant city center where people would live, work, and play, it needed an inviting public park that would draw people together throughout the year. That vision became reality through an ambitious partnership between the City of Houston, private foundations, and generous donors. Landscape architects designed a park that blended open lawns, gardens, walking paths, water features, and spaces for art and entertainment. Discovery Green officially opened in April 2008 and quickly became one of the city's greatest success stories in urban renewal. One of the park's most popular attractions is Kinder Lake. Visitors can rent paddle boats and kayaks while enjoying beautiful views of Houston's skyline. The lake adds a sense of calm to the middle of a bustling city and creates a setting where families, couples, and tourists can enjoy the outdoors in an unexpected way. And just a short walk away, Monument Fountain becomes the center of activity during Houston's long summers. Children dash through the dancing water jets while parents relax nearby beneath shady trees. Throughout the park, colorful sculptures and rotating public art displays ensure there's always something new to discover, making every visit a little different from the last. Discovery Green was designed as far more than a neighborhood park. Its wide lawns host concerts, movies, fitness classes, cultural festivals, farmers markets, and community celebrations. And native Texas plants attract birds and butterflies, while carefully landscaped gardens and shaded walkways invite visitors to slow down and enjoy nature in the middle of downtown Houston. The park remains busy throughout the year. During the holidays, an outdoor ice skating rink surprises visitors in a city known for warm winters. Free concerts, art exhibits, food festivals, and family events bring thousands of people together, helping transform downtown Houston into a lively destination well beyond the traditional workday. Discovery Green has done more than beautify a neighborhood. It sparked a new investment in surrounding hotels, restaurants, apartments, and businesses. What was once an area that emptied after office hours has become a thriving district where residents and visitors gather day and night, demonstrating how thoughtfully designed park can help reshape an entire city. The park's greatest challenge came before the first tree was planted. Critics questioned whether valuable downtown land should become a park instead of commercial development, and some doubted people would use outdoor spaces in Houston's hot climate. But today, those concerns have largely disappeared. But keeping Discovery Green vibrant still requires careful maintenance, private fundraising, and hundreds of community events every year. Today, Discovery Green stands as one of America's finest examples of modern urban planning. In just a few years, an ordinary collection of parking lots became a place where nature, recreation, art, and community come together every day. It proves that a great park is far more than open space. It can become the heart of a city and inspire its future for generations to come. Have you ever walked through a beautiful city park without realizing thousands of cars were speeding beneath your feet? Well, welcome to Clyde Warren Park. It's one of the most innovative urban parks in America. Stretching across 5.2 acres in the heart of downtown Dallas, this remarkable green space isn't built beside a highway, it's built directly over one. Today, children play, families picnic, and concerts fill the air, but beneath the lawns and trees, thousands of cars continue traveling along one of Dallas's busiest freeways. For decades, the Woodall-Rogers Freeway divided downtown Dallas from the vibrant uptown neighborhood. Although the roadway moved traffic efficiently, it created a noisy barrier that discouraged people from walking between the two districts. City leaders began asking an important question. What if the freeway could be covered and transformed into a public park instead? Well, that bold vision became reality through an extraordinary engineering project. Massive concrete decks were built over the freeway, creating enough space for soil, trees, lawns, and walking paths. The project was funded through a partnership of public agencies, private foundations, and generous donors. After years of planning and construction, Clyde Warren Park officially opened in October 2012, immediately becoming a symbol of Dallas's growing commitment to urban renewal. At the center of the park is a beautiful Great Lawn where visitors gather for picnics, outdoor games, yoga classes, and community celebrations. Despite sitting atop a busy freeway, the park feels peaceful and inviting. Carefully designed landscaping, mature trees, and open spaces create an environment where people can relax while surrounded by the energy of downtown Dallas. Clyde Warren Park is especially popular with families. A creative children's playground, Interactive fountains and a steady lineup of colorful food trucks keep the park bustling throughout the day. Whether visitors are enjoying lunch, listening to live music, or simply taking a break from work, the park offers something for nearly every age and interest. The park also serves as one of Dallas's premier gathering places. Its performance pavilion hosts concerts, dance performances, outdoor movies, and cultural festivals throughout the year. Fitness classes, educational programs, and community events ensure that the park remains active from morning until evening, making it far more than just a beautiful green space. Perhaps the park's greatest achievement is something visitors don't immediately notice. By covering the freeway, Clyde Warren Park reconnected neighborhoods that have been separated for decades. Today, residents can easily walk between downtown, the Arts District, and Uptown, proving that thoughtful design can unite communities once divided by infrastructure. Since opening, the park has hosted countless public events, seasonal celebrations, charity walks, and cultural festivals. It has become one of Dallas's favorite gathering places while encouraging new residential and commercial development nearby. Hotels, restaurants, and businesses have flourished as the surrounding neighborhoods have become more connected and inviting. The greatest challenge facing Clyde Warren Park was convincing people that such an ambitious project could actually work. Building a park over an active freeway required complex engineering and significant financial support from both public and private partners. Today, maintaining the park's landscaping, irrigation systems, and structural deck remains an ongoing commitment, but its tremendous success has inspired other cities to consider similar projects. Today, Clyde Warren Park stands as one of the world's finest examples of innovative urban design. What was once a concrete barrier separating neighborhoods has become a vibrant destination where people relax, gather, and celebrate community. It reminds us that great parks do more than beautify a city. They reconnect people, inspire investment, and transform the way a city lives and grows. What if I told you one of America's most famous parks was built on top of railroad tracks? Well, welcome to Millennium Park, one of America's most celebrated urban parks. Located in the heart of downtown Chicago, this 24.5-acre masterpiece welcomes millions of visitors each year. With its blend of world-class architecture, public art, music, and gardens, it has become the city's front yard. Yet, only a few decades ago, this remarkable destination looked nothing like the vibrant park we see today. Before Millennium Park existed, this site was occupied by railroad tracks, parking lots, and industrial land owned by the Illinois Central Railroad. For years, it created a barrier between downtown Chicago and nearby Lake Michigan. Although the location was valuable, few people imagined it could become one of the world's premier public spaces. In 1997, Chicago launched an ambitious plan to transform the neglected property into a cultural park unlike any other. Construction began the following year and grew into a massive public-private partnership. Delays and rising costs drew criticism, but city leaders pressed ahead. When Millennium Park officially opened in July 2004, the result exceeded nearly everyone's expectations. The park's signature attraction is Cloud Gate, better known as the Bean. Created by British artist Anish Kapoor, the seamless stainless steel sculpture reflects the surrounding skyline and the people gathered beneath it. Visitors can't resist photographing its mirror-like surface, making it one of the most recognizable and photographed public artworks in the United States. And just steps away stands a crown fountain designed by Spanish artist Jaume Plenza. Two towering glass structures display the faces of Chicago residents while water spills into a shallow, reflecting pool below. And during the summer, children splash through the water while adults cool off nearby, turning contemporary art into an experience everyone can enjoy. Another highlight is the J. Pritzker Pavilion, designed by renowned architect Frank Gehry. Its sweeping stainless steel curves shelter an outdoor concert venue where thousands gather for free performances. Nearby, the elegant BP Bridge and peaceful Lurie Garden complete a park that successfully combines architecture, engineering, art, and nature into one unforgettable destination. Since opening, Millennium Park has become Chicago's outdoor gathering place. It hosts concerts, festivals, public art exhibitions, fitness classes, and seasonal celebrations throughout the year. And whether visitors come to picnic on the Great Lawn or attend a performance or simply admire the skyline, the park offers something for every age and interest. The park's grand opening in July 2004 attracted hundreds of thousands of visitors over 3 days, immediately establishing it as a civic landmark. In the years since, it has earned international recognition for its innovative design and has become one of the Midwest's most visited attractions, helping redefine Chicago's image around the world. Success brings challenges, and welcoming millions of visitors every year means constant maintenance of walkways, gardens, fountains, and public art. In recent years, areas surrounding Cloud Gate have undergone major restoration and accessibility improvements, ensuring the park remains safe, beautiful, and ready for future generations to enjoy. Millennium Park proves that great cities can reinvent themselves. What was once an industrial rail yard has become a place where art, music, nature, and community come together every day. More than simply a beautiful park, it represents Chicago's vision, creativity, and confidence, and stands today as one of America's finest examples of successful urban renewal. Have you ever seen a major city build its downtown around a waterfall instead of trying to hide it? Well, that's exactly what happened in Spokane, Washington. Riverfront Park is one of America's most unique urban parks because its centerpiece isn't a lake or monument. It's the powerful Spokane Falls. Today, this 100-acre park welcomes millions of visitors each year, but its story begins with railroads, industry, and an incredible vision for change. Believe it or not, this beautiful park was once covered with railroad tracks, warehouses, and industrial buildings. For decades, trains dominated the riverfront, making it difficult for people to even see the spectacular falls. Can you imagine hiding one of nature's greatest attractions behind freight yards? That's exactly what Spokane had done for years. Everything changed when Spokane was elected to host Expo 74, the first environmentally themed World's Fair. City leaders saw a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reclaim the waterfront. Railroad tracks were removed, old buildings came down, and an entirely new park began taking shape. When the World's Fair opened in 1974, it introduced visitors from around the globe to a transformed Spokane. Of course, the real star of Riverfront Park is Spokane Falls. Depending on the season, millions of gallons of water thunder over the rocks every hour, creating one of the largest urban waterfalls in the United States. Stand along the viewing platforms and you'll hear the roar long before you reach the river. It's impossible not to stop and simply take it all in. Want an even better view? Hop aboard the Skyride gondolas that glide directly over the falls. It's one of the park's signature experiences and offers breathtaking views you simply can't get from the ground. And as you float above the rushing water, you'll quickly understand why so many visitors say this is the highlight of their trip to Spokane. Riverfront Park offers much more than scenic beauty. Families enjoy the beautifully restored 1909 Louvre Carousel. Children race across imaginative playgrounds, and the park's great pavilion hosts concerts, festivals, and community celebrations throughout the year. Whether you're attending an event or simply enjoying a quiet walk, there's always something happening here. One of the nicest things about Riverfront Park is that it invites you to slow down. Walking trails wind along the river, bridges connect the islands, and quiet benches offer perfect places to watch the water flow by. Isn't that what a great city park should do? give us a chance to escape the noise of everyday life, even if only for an hour? Although the World's Fair ended decades ago, its legacy remains everywhere you look. Riverfront Park still celebrates Expo 74 through monuments, artwork, and restored buildings that remind visitors of the event that forever changed Spokane. Without that World's Fair, it's quite possible that this beautiful park would never have existed. Like every great park, Riverfront Park continues to evolve. And in recent years, Spokane has invested millions of dollars restoring aging facilities, improving accessibility, modernizing playgrounds, and preserving the park's historic character. The challenge has been balancing modernization while protecting the features that generations of visitors have come to love. And today, Riverfront Park stands as one of America's greatest examples of urban transformation. What was once an industrial railroad corridor has become the heart of Spokane, where nature, history, and community come together every day. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest treasure a city has isn't something it builds, it's something that is there all along, just waiting to be rediscovered. What if a city decided to tear down one of its busiest highways and replace it with a park? Well, it sounds almost impossible, doesn't it? But that's exactly what happened in Portland, Oregon. Today, McCall Waterfront Park stretches for more than a mile along the Willamette River and is one of the city's most treasured public spaces. Yet just a few decades ago, this beautiful waterfront was buried beneath lanes of speeding traffic. Until the early 1970s, Harbor Drive ran along Portland's riverfront. Like many American cities at the time, Portland believed highways belonged downtown. Cars had easy access to the river, but people didn't. Residents found themselves separated from the waterfront by concrete and traffic. Eventually, city leaders began asking an important question. Was this really the best use of such a beautiful location? The answer was bold and at the time controversial. Harbor Drive was closed, demolished, and replaced with a public park. Many critics predicted traffic would become unbearable and downtown businesses would suffer. Instead, the opposite happened. Portland embraced a new vision that placed people ahead of automobiles, and when the park opened in 1978, it became a national model for urban planning. Today, one of the park's greatest attractions is its scenic waterfront promenade. Walkers, joggers, cyclists, and families enjoy uninterrupted views of the Willamette River while boats quietly pass by. It's hard to imagine that you're standing where thousands of automobiles once rushed through every day. Sometimes the best city improvements begin by removing something instead of adding it. Another favorite stop is Salmon Street Springs, one of Portland's most recognizable fountains. During warm weather, children laugh and splash through its changing water patterns while visitors relax on the surrounding lawn. Nearby, the Japanese-American Historical Plaza offers quieter experience, honoring those who were forcibly relocated during World War II while reminding visitors of an important chapter in American history. The park truly comes alive during Portland's many festivals. The famous Portland Rose Festival fills the waterfront with parades, concerts, dragon boat races, and fireworks, while food festivals and cultural celebrations keep the calendar busy throughout the year. Have you noticed a pattern with great urban parks? They become much more than beautiful landscapes. They become the city's living room. Even on quiet days, McCall Waterfront Park has a peaceful charm. In spring, rows of cherry trees burst into bloom, creating one of Portland's most photographed scenes. Wide lawns invite picnics, shaded benches encourage a quiet reflection, and riverfront trails provide miles of enjoyable walking. Whether you're looking for exercise or simply a place to relax, the park offers something for everyone. The park also transformed Portland itself. Replacing Harbor Drive with green space encouraged new investment along the river while inspiring other cities to rethink how they design their waterfronts. What once seemed like a risky decision is now celebrated as one of the most successful examples of urban renewal in the United States. Creating the park was only the beginning. Because it sits beside the Willamette River, flooding, erosion, and constant public use require ongoing care. Maintaining thousands of trees, gardens, fountains, pathways, and public gathering spaces takes careful planning and continued investment. The city remains committed to preserving this remarkable waterfront for future generations. Today, Tom McCall Waterfront Park stands as proof that cities can reinvent themselves by putting people first. What was once a noisy highway has become a beautiful place where neighbors gather, festivals flourish, and visitors discover the beauty of Portland's riverfront. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest act of progress isn't building something new, it's having the vision to reclaim what was there all along. What do you do with miles of neglected industrial riverfront that most people have forgotten? In Louisville, Kentucky, the answer was to create one of America's finest waterfront parks. Today, Waterfront Park stretches along the Ohio River, welcoming millions of visitors with beautiful walking paths, public art, playgrounds, and spectacular river views, proving that a city can rediscover its greatest natural asset. For much of the 20th century, Louisville's riverfront was dominated by shipping facilities, warehouses, parking lots, and heavy industry. While the Ohio River had given birth to the city, much of the shoreline became cut off from everyday life. Residents had little reason to visit, and the waterfront was no longer the gathering place it had once been. During the 1980s and the 1990s, city leaders and community organizations developed an ambitious plan to reconnect Louisville with this river. Through public funding, private donations, and long-term planning, neglected industrial land was transformed into a beautiful public park. The first phase opened in 1999, with additional sections completed over the following years, gradually creating one of the nation's premier urban waterfronts. One of the park's signature features is the Great Lawn. It's a wide open green space overlooking the Ohio River, and families picnic beneath shade trees, children fly kites, and visitors enjoy peaceful walks along the water's edge. Riverboats, barges, and pleasure craft pass by throughout the day, reminding visitors that this river remains an important transportation corridor even today. Perhaps the park's most recognizable landmark is the Big Four Bridge, a former railroad bridge transformed into a spectacular pedestrian and bicycle crossing. Beautifully illuminated each evening, it carries visitors across the Ohio River into Indiana while offering breathtaking views of Louisville's skyline. The park also features sculptures, fountains, playgrounds, and memorials celebrating the city's rich history. Waterfront Park has become Louisville's outdoor gathering place. Throughout the year, it hosts concerts, food festivals, fireworks, charity walks, cultural celebrations, and community events. One of the biggest annual highlights is the Kentucky Derby Festival, while thousands gather along the riverfront for fireworks and festivities that attract visitors from across the country. The park is equally popular on ordinary days. Cyclists, joggers, dog walkers, and families fill its miles of trails while children enjoy playgrounds and open spaces. Visitors can simply sit on a bench overlooking the Ohio River or spend an entire afternoon exploring the gardens, public art, and scenic overlooks that make the park a favorite destination for residents. Waterfront Park has done more than beautify Louisville. It has helped transform the surrounding city. New housing, hotels, restaurants, and businesses have grown around the park as the riverfront became an attractive destination once again. The project demonstrated that investing in public spaces can stimulate economic growth while improving quality of life for everyone. Like many riverfront parks, Waterfront Park faces unique challenges. You have seasonal flooding, erosion, and ongoing maintenance require constant attention. Funding must also support landscaping, trails, lighting, and public events throughout the year. And thanks to careful planning and strong community support, the park continues to thrive while adapting to the natural challenges of life beside a major river. Today, Waterfront Park stands as one of America's great riverfront success stories. What was once an overlooked industrial shoreline has become the heart of Louisville's outdoor life. It reminds us that rivers have always shaped our cities, and when communities reclaim their waterfronts, they create places where history, recreation, and nature come together for generations to enjoy. All right. Thank you so much, Jovi. That was a great job putting all that together. And it took me a while to find, I needed to find some music that was public domain. And I finally found it. And it's because, the thing about public domain, when you have music, you have to make sure that it's not copyrighted. And so that when we put it on YouTube or some of these other places, that they don't, take it off because, well, that music is copyrighted. So there's definitely some guitar music that I thought sounded really nice in the background. And, one of the two of these parks that I found all these parks amazing, but the one that Portland did, actually removing a highway, to me is probably the most amazing. And, them worried about the fact that, what are we going to do with all the traffic? Well, it didn't seem to affect the traffic at all. And then it actually caused more really good development of like restaurants, coffee shops, things like that for the downtown area. And I used to live in the Portland area. I lived in Vancouver, Washington. That was right on the other side of the river from Portland. So I used to go to Waterfront Park. I went there several times, and it's very nice. And they did a great job. And that's one of the most amazing things about what they did was removing that highway. Also, the other one that they did in what was that? The Clyde? I forget which one. What it is now? I think it's the Clyde Warren Park, where they where they built it over a highway. To me, is amazing as well. All these parks are amazing. And what's really great about it is they all provide some kind of water feature. They either right there by the river, or you have the Discovery Green where you have the that water right there. The see the boats in there. Yeah, I think that's really, really amazing. So it's really great. That parks are so important to communities. It's so important to our urban communities. I think they promote healthy activity, healthy thinking, ways for people to get out and be in nature and get out and be with each other and participate in some of these events that they have. So I think it's really, really kind of neat. So, that's all we have time for today. And I hope you've enjoyed this quick tour of these 7 remarkable parks across the country. And, as we discovered, these aren't just beautiful places to take a walk. Every one of them has an incredible story behind it, as we heard. Some were built over railroad tracks, and one was built on top of a busy freeway. And, others, they transformed industrial sites and forgotten waterfronts into places where people gather every single day. And it's amazing to me when you think about it, to be able to commend the people and the fathers of these cities, the people who are in the city government, to come up with the idea of building these parks. You got to really commend them for that. But here's the thing, we've only really scratched the surface. Today's program was meant to introduce you to these amazing parks, and the real fun begins in the weeks ahead, because our goal is to slow things down and devote an entire show to just one park at a time. And that will give us a chance to really explore its history, the people who dreamed it into existence, and the engineering that made it possible, and the challenges it faced, and the little-known stories that most visitors never hear. And believe me, there are some fascinating parks still waiting for us. We'll visit Forest Park in St. Louis, a park that's actually larger than New York Central Park and was home to the 1904 World's Fair. We'll spend some time in Balboa Park in San Diego. We did talk about these last week and the week before about, doing these short little videos on them. And but we're going to dive into them and get really deep and really discover, all about these parks. So, and we'll also do some parks. We'll do something like the gasworks parks in Seattle. I'm not sure if we'd be able to do an entire episode on that because it's not a very big park. But when I lived up in Washington State, I visited Gasworks Park many times, and it's a very interesting spot. It's an abandoned gas plant. It became one of the most unusual and beautiful parks anywhere in America. And then in Pittsburgh, you have the Point State Park, where Allegheny and the Monongahela rivers come together to form the Ohio River at one of the most historically significant locations in our nation's history. And also we'll visit Belle Isle Park, which we did last week. We just did a brief little visit like this time. And it's a magnificent island park designed by Frederick Law Olmsted. If you remember him, he also designed Central Park in New York. He also designed City Park here in New Orleans and Audubon Park. He did a fantastic job. So those are a few places on our list. There are dozens more waiting to be explored. And every one of them has its own remarkable story, and some changed the course of a city, others preserved an important piece of history, and a few were considered impossible projects that somehow became spectacular successes. And that's really what Legacy Parks and Daily Parks and Recs is all about. It's not just a travel show, it's not just a history show, it's about discovering the stories behind the places that bring communities together and make our cities better places to live, work, and visit. So I hope you'll join us the next time as we take a deep dive into our extraordinary park and uncover the history, the people, and the vision that made it what it is today. Until then, why not visit a park close to home? Take a walk, find a shady bench, enjoy a little fresh air, and look around. Also, hug a tree. I was reading something about how good trees are for you. Even just touching a tree has amazing effects. It's almost like taking your shoes off and putting your feet on the grass. It's a great grounding experience, and I think the tree really appreciates it too. And so you might be surprised also by the history that we discover about these parks that's hiding in plain sight. All right, thank you all so much for listening. This is Richard Bienvenu. This has been our Legacy Parks on Daily Parks and Recs, and y'all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time.
In the parks and recreation industry, attention is limited, but influence is everything. Every day, thousands of parks and recreation professionals make critical decisions. Decisions on infrastructure, programs, technology, and vendors. The question is your brand part of that conversation? DPRS Media Network was built to answer that question. We are a dedicated media ecosystem focused exclusively on the parks and recreation industry in the United States. Through a network of daily and weekly shows, we inform, connect, and influence this audience. Our distribution spans multiple platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, plus email campaigns, newsletters, podcasts, and live event coverage. This is not a single-channel strategy. It is a multi-platform media engine. Today, our network reaches over 214,000 connections, including 51,000 on LinkedIn, 64,000 on Facebook, nearly 40,000 email subscribers, and thousands more across podcast and social platforms. While some audiences overlap, our true value is not just reach, it is relevance. We speak directly to parks and recreation directors, program managers, and industry leaders, an audience that is highly targeted and actively engaged. Through DPRS Media Network, your brand integrates seamlessly into this ecosystem. Through sponsored show segments, targeted advertisement placements, podcast features, and host-read promotions, even custom branded content. Not as interruptions, but as part of the conversation. And we don't just operate online. We attend over 15 major parks and recreation conventions each year, reaching more than 24,000 professionals in person. Through live shows, interviews, and on-site media coverage, we position our partners at the center of the industry. Every piece of content we produce is amplified across our entire network. Multiple shows, multiple hosts, multiple platforms. Your message doesn't appear once, it multiplies. This is more than advertising. It is strategic positioning within a trusted media network built specifically for the parks and recreation industry. If your goal is to reach decision makers, build credibility, and stay top of mind, then it's time to partner with DPRS Media Network. Apply for partnership or sponsorship today. Let's position your brand where the industry is already paying attention.